Do you believe in the genocide they're committing?
I think they're fighting for themselves and they're defending themselves.
Do you think that's defense?
Well,
when 1,200 people died, and of which the 1,200 you've killed, and admittedly you've killed a lot during, your hand.
I will tell you this. The part I question, where people who are Jewish can't stand when I say this, I don't know how you, Netanyahu, claim you have the best intelligence in the world, Mossad, and you didn't know that on October 7th they're attacking
you. They knew about it. They didn't. They wanted it to happen, so they had a reason to take that. Yeah, they wanted a reason to take the land.
I totally get it.
And they killed their own citizens. And they claimed that.
Which is what I said.
That's the Jews did that?
October, it happened October 7th, 2023, I think, where Hamas came into Israel and had a little terrorist attack or whatever, right? But it's been almost 100 years of Israel fucking blowing the shit out of Gaza and taking more of Palestine constantly.
Right.
Just expanding. Now they're into Syria, Lebanon, and that's the Greater Israel Project, where they want to fucking make pretty much the whole Middle East Israel.
Right.
But that's what when I saw the October 7th attacks, that's what I was thinking. It's this is so similar to 9/11.
It's a reason to actually go fuck some shit up.
Right. Because Israel's got the most...
So you think they attacked themselves on October 7th? Most likely.
Well, I think they allowed October 7th to happen.
Right.
To justify doing what they've done for the last year, 15 months, 2 years, whatever it's been.
Yeah.
In Gaza. And that's the same as leading up to 9/11. The American public did not support the wars that they wanted to start in the Middle East. They couldn't get the American public on board. And then all of a sudden 9/11 happens and it's yeah, roll tide. Let's
fucking send the troops.
Let's fucking go.
Right.
And now it's 24 years after 9/11 and we're I can't see that being Muslims with box cutters that did that.
Right.
All of the fucking shit that's out there about what it could have been and shit like that. But I mean, well, let's watch the rest of this. Because that's what I think happened October 7th, is that the Israelis allowed a certain amount of damage to be done to them so that they could just go and fucking do what they've been wanting to do for decades over there.
All right.
All these people got raped. That was bullshit. They claimed beheaded babies. That was bullshit. Everything that they said was a fucking complete... Not only was it a lie, but they committed all those atrocities themselves to the Palestinians and been caught doing it. In fact, they just got caught gang raping Palestinians. How many babies have they killed? All the things that they accuse the Palestinians of or Hamas of or whatever, they're guilty of 100-fold themselves. And they've been doing that. October 7th wasn't the start of this. The start of this was Nakba. They've done so many...
I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah, so I mean, this is not it's not like October 7th is it's all of a sudden they just came over there unsolicited and just killed people. They have been killing Palestinians for years and years, operating two sets of justice. It's they have the justice for the Palestinians and the justice for the Israelis. And if you read the Talmud, if you're not Jewish, you're basically not a human. You're like cattle.
And they, what I don't like about the Jews or the Zionist Jews or whatever is that they call all non-Jewish people Goyim. That's where that term comes from.
We're a Goyim.
We're Goyim. Yeah.
Which means
less than human. Cattle. It means you're cattle.
Damn.
And I've got so many clips of fucking Jewish people talking about that term themselves.
So they call other Jews Goyim if they're not...
No, just if you're a non-Jew. So if you're a Muslim or a Christian or atheist or anything other than Jew.
Yeah, I heard of Goyim before. Have you heard of Goyim? What does Goyim mean? Non-Jew. Non-Jew, what else does it mean? Look up Goyim.
You mean human cattle.
Right? Because we're going to look up the definition. Because that's what y'all call us. Why would y'all have a name for a non-Jew? Why would y'all call us Goyim? Why not, hold on. Why not call them by their nationality? Why you had to refer to them as Goyim? Why? What is the point of that? Is there a term for non-Ethiopians? Is there a term for non-Africans? No, but why do... No, it's a condescending term that y'all use against people. It is condescending. That is true. Y'all feel like y'all can mistreat Goyim. Y'all can deceive us and not have to respect us.
Collections.ushmm.org. It's called the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum, right? It is written in the Talmud, only the Jew is human. Non-Jews are not called human. They are seen as animals, and because we Jews consider non-Jews to be animals, we refer to them only as Goy.
So it makes sense with it makes sense with the central banking system being owned by the Rothschilds or whoever you want to say owns it. You know what I mean? The elite Jewish families supposedly.
Yeah.
And that's how they control the Goyim through finance.
Right.
And like they, say they were
Puppets.
in charge of how 9/11 went down.
Right.
That was also necessary to divide the Muslim and Christian populations. So that that's what spurred the Islamophobia or whatever you want to call it. Where ever since then Christians and Muslims have been at each other in every country. They're at it now in the UK, in Canada, America, everywhere. Because like you got the two biggest populations of fucking people. You divide and conquer. You divide the Goyim, and then you rule over them through finance.
So they're divided by Christian and Muslim, and then whatever else religions.
Yeah.
They're speckled in there, right?
But the two big ones are
Yeah.
Christian and Muslim. It's fucking nuts, brother. And they wonder why anti-Semitism or whatever you want to call it is on the rise. People are starting to wake up to the names you call us, I guess.
Yeah. Fucking hell. I'd never heard of that word before. Goyim.
Not a lot of people have. Not a lot of people
Cow.
have.
Not human.
There's a clip
That's
of
crazy,
there's a
man.
clip of two old boys talking about it. Two old Jewish guys in Israel talking about it, about how it's like in their holy book or whatever, they're promised 2,800 slaves each.
Stop.
2,800 goyim each.
Once they pass?
No.
Just in life.
In life, that's the promise that's eventually gonna be fulfilled, and it makes me think, like, is that what the whole New World Order is about?
Mashiach will come, there'll be a new world order.
In order for Mashiach to come, you cannot have any other governments. It's going to be one kingdom, one malchut, one government. So you can look at it in the negative aspect of it, saying a new world order, a one government. Yeah, you're right. It is going to be a new world order. The new world of Mashiach with one order, the Torah, one government. Yeah, it's going to be a Sanhedrin. We're not going to have all the rest of the stuff. The time of the entire planet is done.
Mashiach comes and a new world order is instituted. We need to destroy what existed previously, and we need a destruction of society and the world as we know it.
Every new reality means a total loss of the reality that came before it, referring to the coming of Mashiach and the new world order that comes with it, okay? In other words, for what is coming, what is has to be unrecognizable. Nothing can remain. None of the world systems can remain. Nothing will remain because it's rotten to the core.
The spiritual heirs of the Roman Empire is the Western world, United States of America, so the USA will last until Mashiach comes.
Someone has to completely destroy this world and its system before the new one comes in. You want your one world government? So does God, no problem.
God will abolish every government on earth, and and hand over control of the whole world to Mashiach.
Mashiach will be the king of the entire world. There will be a monarchy restored to the world. Mashiach will be king.
כל הגויים
Oh, this is the one.
איך קוראים? שנייה, אדוני. בהמות? אם אין להם ציווי. אדם, שנייה, אדם זה על שם הדמה לעליון. אדם זה כביכול הדמה לאלוקים. אוקיי? זה פירוש אדם. אנחנו הפכנו את זה, זאת אומרת העם הפך את זה. האדם בן אדם, כמובן אתה בן אדם, אתה צריך להתנהג כמו בן אדם. אבל בעיקרון זה על שם עליון. אדם זה הדמה לעליון, מכיוון שאנחנו בנים של אלוקים. אז הוא קרא לנו בני אדם. עכשיו, הגויים מה שהם, כן? אלוקים עשה אותם בשביל שיעשו פה... בשביל לשרת את היהודים.
To serve the Jews.
כל הגויים שאתה רואה שיש בעולם, המיליארדים האלה,
all around the world, billions of goyim.
שהיהודים יהיה להם איזה תועלת. עכשיו,
Even for the Jews' benefit.
כן, היות ואנחנו בגלות,
Today we are in exile. So automatically they don't yet serve us, only partially.
אז כל אחד יהיה לו...
2,800 slaves per person. They build us cars, they build our apartment buildings, they do everything. And you think about how our system is set up, how everybody is a slave to their debt,
right?
And who created the fucking debt system?
Jews.
The central banking system is designed to put people in debt.
Right.
Because it's the modern day version of slavery.
Right. So those guys are not wrong.
If you control the money, like that's what happened back in the fucking 1800s when the fucking Rothschilds kind of cozied up to the royal family. Because the royal family went in debt fighting Napoleon. And then the Rothschilds came in and fucking...
Don't worry, we'll...
Yeah. And then ever since then, they've been tangled up in the British banking system. And that grew over to the American banking system right after, or just before World War I, 1913. The American Federal Reserve was created. And then it's just kind of spidered out into infiltrating every country ever since then.
Right.
And like our central banking comes from the British central banking because we're a Commonwealth country, same as Australia. So like when you understand that shit, and you understand the money and the power of money, then it makes sense when something like COVID comes, how they can just snap everybody into the same system of restrictions, lockdowns, everything.
We'll give you your little COVID check. You'll be fine.
Like who's Canada in debt to? Probably the Royal Bank of fucking Britain's central bank.
Right.
That's probably where we borrowed all our money from for the COVID relief and everything. So now that a country is in debt, they're easier to control. Right. You can't expect to develop your own resources and your people to prosper
if you're in debt.
If you're billions in debt. It's like, oh, we can't. It's an excuse not to do well after that.
Right.
It's like, yeah, we're in debt.
And do you think that was like, that was the game plan?
I think that's such a big part of the COVID scheme was to help bankrupt every nation because a new world order, a new currency that's eventually going to come in, a central bank digital currency that's eventually going to be coming in, is going to be so much easier to accept when it's like, oh, well, we're in debt. They're going to wipe the slate clean. We're going to start with a new currency. It's going to be a one world government currency. It's going to be digital. So much easier to accept. If you've got a country that is doing well and they're firing on all cylinders, they're producing their own natural resources, all their citizens have their own homes and low debt levels, you'd never get that to work.
Right.
That's why Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh, Chrystia Freeland, Mark Carney, all these World Economic Forum puppets have been strategically placed and elected over time to do exactly what they're doing.
Right.
And it's going on in every country. Macron in France, Keir Starmer in Britain. Before that, Rishi Sunak. Before that, fucking Boris Johnson.
They've just got them lined up. And plop you in there.
And like that's why I can't get on Team Trump and I can't get on Pierre Poilievre's team. I can't get on no teams.
Right.
Because
there's already an agenda unfolding.
Because I just don't know if that's just the next puppet. And like we really could have went through the last 8 years or however long Justin Trudeau has been in, priming us to accept Pierre Poilievre.
Right.
Who then is the one that it's like, oh, he's not as woke. He's not as with the transgender stuff. Shit that's easy to get against.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then he gets a majority government, and all of a sudden he pushes through the central bank digital currency.
Right.
I'm not saying this 100% is what his plan is. I'm just saying that
that's a
we
possibility.
we can't get on any fucking team and just back this person 100%. I know you got to pick someone and vote for them, and I will vote for Pierre Poilievre because we just can't. We can't go liberal again.
No.
There's not a fucking chance. Just like the U.S. couldn't go Democrat again.
Yeah.
But okay, now in the U.S. they've got the Senate, the House, and the White House, all majority, so they can pass anything they want in the next 4 years or
Right.
2 years until the Congress and whatever has an election.
Right.
So, you know, they're
Like
all big into cryptos. So crypto has been pitched to us as a decentralized, government can't fuck with it, right? And I think that's been priming us and getting us used to using a digital currency or whatever, or a lot of people still haven't bought any crypto.
bought Bitcoin though.
Right. But it's warming people up to that.
Right.
And I think what's going to happen is eventually, like XRP or one of these cryptos is going to mutate into a digital government currency.
Right. Or they're going to have their own and they're going to spring it on us.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting...
Well, they're already starting to wean out places where you can spend cash.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to go swing around to golf, you got to pay credit card. Or
Like-
your debit card.
Like, if this was a plan, like the World Economic Forum it was founded in 1971. So you look at all the technology that step by step, brick by brick has been put in place to get you to a digital currency. You went from cash to a debit card, to debit and Visa cards,
So now your phone.
to the internet,
Right.
to having your debit and Visa on your phone where you just tap. It's all been an evolution that quite possibly could have been the whole plan all along. It's like we can't just go from cash to a blockchain digital currency, but we know that's the end game.
Yeah.
So we need to baby step these Goyim into the direction until we eventually get them. And people think that central bank digital currency is no different than a fucking bank card, a lot of people. But it's programmable to the point that, like, I look at the trucker convoy that happened in Ottawa, where people were upset with the government over COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
So they all had cash and debit. They went, they protested. And if we were under a central bank digital currency at that time, the government could have programmed the currency to you can't use it 20 kilometers from your house.
Right.
So you leave to go protest somewhere, you're not going to be able to afford
Access
to
your money.
facilitate yourself to protest.
Right.
And like, what pisses me off about COVID the most is I get that people had trust in the government and everybody before, but the fact that we haven't called for any sort of accountability since COVID, they've learned from all their mistakes. They've learned that, okay, the Goyim, the fucking regular people, protested, and that's what ended up pretty much leading to the decline in restrictions. So now next time, if we got the central bank digital currency, that takes care of that.
Right.
And you can also hook it up.
That goes hand in hand with those 15-minute cities that they're building, right?
Right. You can't have the 15-minute city with any sort of authority measure if you got a currency that can still be used outside of it.
Right.
So that's gonna tie in hand. It's gonna be your social credit score, the central bank digital currency, and the 15-minute city. So it's going to be limited on where you can spend your money and what you can spend it on.
Right.
So what you can spend it on, they're going to tie that to the environment.
Right.
Everything that you purchase is going to have a carbon code of sort of how much that product costs to manufacture, ship to you, or get transported to you.
To your grocery store.
And then what it does after you use it and throw it away.
Right.
What the total carbon is used in that whole process. And it's not the company that's going to be... Is not the fucking company that's going to be on the hook for that shit. They're gonna make it on you, which is fucking hilarious.
Right.
Like, that's how you know climate change is a big scam, just like COVID was. Because I look at what is your solution to the problem. The solution to the problem for COVID was I'm going to lock everybody down. I'm going to restrict everybody. I'm going to force it on them to be able to provide food and work and all that stuff. And with the climate thing, it's like we can all say that the climate is changing. But is that just naturally been doing that forever? I think so.
I think so too.
But it's an excuse to blame it on the Goyim,
Right.
the working class people.
Right. They're doing too much.
They're not making Coca-Cola go back to using glass instead of plastic.
Right.
Coca-Cola is pumping out 200,000 fucking bottles of Coca-Cola, plastic bottles, every minute.
Right.
So that's how I know it's bullshit.
Right.
Is that you're not doing anything to help the environment, actually.
Yeah.
You're using it as a mechanism of control.
Right. That's a good way to fucking put it, because I never thought of that. Like, you think about how many Coca-Cola bottles are out there, man.
They restricted your ability to have a fucking plastic straw.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can go to Wendy's and get a cup that's this big. It's completely made of plastic.
Yeah.
The lid is made of plastic, but the straw is paper.
Right.
And dissolves in 2 seconds.
Right.
With fucking who knows what kind of chemicals come out of the glue in that straw.
Because we seen one fucking turtle with a straw up its nose.
Yeah.
And the odds of that ever happening again is 1 in a million. Yeah, man, it's fucking nuts. You make very good points right there.
And it's like it's not that I'm anti any religion, anti any race, nothing. I'm anti people controlling me.
Right.
You know, and that is it.